Great college football game. I'm really proud of our players and their ability to fight back. I thought our coaches made tremendous adjustments at halftime. Maybe as good as I've been around in a long, long time. I don't know. But, I've always said I'll be honest with you about whether we get out-coached, outplayed, give it away or whatever. But our coaches made tremendous adjustments at halftime, gave our players a chance. They bought in. Guys made plays early in the game. Tony did a good job of mixing up coverages, did some things, a couple of things we hadn't seen, fired a corner from 2 receiver sides, and got Corn off track a little bit, who had a couple of ill-advised throws. But then he rallied back, and we kind of settled in with what we needed to do, and he was on track pretty good, and couldn't be any more proud of him and his ability to throw the ball and run it. Defensively made some adjustments a little bit in the running game at halftime. We're able to squeeze the run better, force them into some throws. They made some throws, but we were in coverage. I mean, they made good throws. Made good catches. Our guys were right there, so I'm okay with that. You play a team that's, I don't know what they've been averaging on offense. They score a lot of points, so sometimes that's going to happen. But overall, it was good. Kicked the ball good. And so we'll let the guys enjoy it tonight, and then we got to get back to work tomorrow.
Like you mentioned, the halftime adjustments off the top. What did you guys change it on offense to try to get things going?
Well, we went to 4 wides. We just got rid of what we were doing, revamped it, went to 4 wides, said run 6 or 7 base plays, and we'll roll with it and play fast.
Do you think that's what opened things up? Obviously, Cornelius had a huge fourth quarter running the football, going 4 wide. Do you think that did help there?
Yes, yeah, that's why we did it, based on what they were doing. They played considerably different than what they played other people. And so we had to make adjustments and go from there.
You talked. What stood out about the changes that you made on defense?
What about it?
What changes?
We got out of our gaps, like 5 times in the first half, and we were using a certain technique, and we weren't having success with it, so we just got rid of it and went back to a little bit something base. And the backers got in there in the A gap a little bit better than what we had done. It wasn't as big an adjustment as we made on offense. It was more just the technique we were playing to try to cinch that in. The only issue you had when we do it is sometimes you're going to be in single coverage, which we were. It's you have a little concerning to be in single coverage against them, but we were in good shape. We made some plays, they made some plays. So more of a technique change and adjustment than actually the schemes.
To win the way you did, Mike, and against an opponent that you were an underdog against in a real dramatic kind of way, did it feel like and you get bowl eligibility in the process, did it feel like 2014 kind of all over again?
Yeah. I mean, I guess, yeah. We beat 2 top 10 teams and 3 yards away from beating 3 last week. So I'd say the guys are doing pretty good and they're playing hard and proud of them. And, we're doing it with some new guys. We played a center that's never played today. Never played. Didn't have Justice. Didn't have King. So I'm just proud of them for their effort and what they give to the program. And, the character and culture of them means a lot. And I don't think you can cite how much credit they deserve for that.
Around the field for a while and let kids take pictures with you, and you were just goofing off with them for a while. You typically won't do that? I don't know if I've ever seen you do that. Did you do it just because it's been a tough season?
Often, if I had to get in with the team and all that, and I don't mind doing that with the fans. Obviously I'm an Oklahoma State guy, and this is a big game for them, and so I don't mind doing that. Eventually, the hardest thing for me is to tell some of them no once I start. It's kind of embarrassing, but they're excited, and, part of my job is to be there for the fans and the public, and so I feel a little bit obligated to do some of that.
The O-line, how did you feel they played with all the changes you had to make?
In the second half, they played really good. The center was awesome, but he struggled in the first part of the game. I mean, he's never played before, and so the speed of the game and number 40 for them, he's a good player, and he was pressing him and caused us some problems. Then once he settled down, he was doing pretty good. So I'm going to say in the first half they were probably a C to C minus. I mean, I'm just throwing that out. In the second half, they were at least an A.
When this week did you know you wouldn't have Johnny? How much time could you get Rise some reps?
I mean, he worked all week. I mean, we thought maybe we could get Johnny out there on Wednesday or so, but, he didn't get there. But, I mean, Mark, it's 2 days, so.
You've talked all year about how even keeled Taylor is. How valuable is that when you're down like you guys were at halftime?
That's the advantage with him is, he made a couple throws. He got confused. Made a couple throws in the first half. Things don't bother him. That's the position. It has to be that way, but most young people aren't that way. And I say young, he's 24, and it makes a difference. But he stays even keel. We made essentially drastic changes at halftime. He was good with it. He understood it. And we cut it loose and let it go.
After last week, how big was it for him to have this type of moment game?
He you could never see it, but you would think that inside it just tore him to pieces. And for him to be able to finish this way is a big deal to me personally, just from playing the position, the pressure. He's just such a good, he's not a kid, he's a young man, but he just does everything you ask him all the time, never says a word. I tell him right now to go run through that wall, he would till he gets through there. That's just the type of young man he is. And so I'm happy for him that he could finish that drive.
Mike, these changes you guys made at halftime on offense, how hard is it to make drastic adjustments in the middle of the game?
We went back to the changes, Mark, were I don't know if we ever ran 4 wides 2x2 in the first half. Well, we didn't have it in the game plan, so I don't think we did. But what we went to were base plays. So it's almost like riding a bike. What they schemed us in the first half now. Tony got us. Yurcich may not admit that, but I must tell you he got us. And so we changed it up and gave us a chance to have some success. That's the chess game. And when you've been in this league as long as we have, and as well as they know us and as well as we know them, there's some of that's going on. So fortunately for us in this game, we made the last play.
You feel like that's as good as you've executed hurry-up offense in a long time?
We were good at it last week. We were rolling in hurry-up offense. You know what I'm saying? So luckily with what we do, Bill, that gives us a chance in those situations because we can run our base offense in a hurry situation. We can run every play we have. So that's an advantage of what we do. The disadvantage is trying to get 1 yard a lot of times. But we've executed it pretty well. But I will say this. For the lack of experience that Corn Dog has in doing it, he's pretty good because that's not something that you do real easy. And he's been pretty good by not being in the system and doing it for years.
You knew Chuba obviously was fast. Did you expect him to be as physical of a runner as he is?
Not really. We talked about that, coming from Canada, and it's no disrespect to them, but they're way behind in American football than compared to us. And so I worried about that part of it. He didn't take a lot of shots in Canada. You can imagine him playing up there on those big fields and all that, with a bunch of guys chasing him that are probably not real fast. He didn't take a lot of them. So we were worried about that. But when he got here, as a freshman, about halfway through the year, we realized that he was going to be a physical young man. And so, knock on wood, he and LD, that's all we had. So we needed him to be physical and stay healthy and stay fresh and keep rolling.
Mike, in West Virginia's last touchdown drive, Dana twice disdained a field goal and went for it on fourth down. Was that just a sign of respect of your offense, the way you guys were rolling? Is that how you took it?
I would like to think so, but you guys, Dana was here. You know him. He's going to do what he wants to do. And I was surprised. They lined up in the Texas, the 2-point play in Texas. We called out. We did it. We practiced it. And we screwed it up just like they did. I mean, and so that was the only reason I was upset on that. But he's going to do the opposite of what you think he's going to do. He's always run plays like that.
When they did go up 10 with, I think it's 7.5 minutes left, that put you in pretty severe trouble. I mean, at that point, did you change your mindset at all? Do you think we got to play faster? We got to gamble? Whatever the case.
We ran the same plays on offense because they were working, and so we said we can't change that, so we have to run the same plays and just try to, Mike has the ability to call them fast because that's part of our system, and it's not easy to do. I mean, I've lived in that world. You get trying to call plays fast, and they've called them too fast, and you get the wrong plays. Well, you only get 4 downs to get 10 yards, so there's a lot of pressure on him as a play caller to call plays fast, but make sure that the ones that give you a chance to work. And then it goes to Corn, and then everybody else has to execute. That's kind of the way it falls. So Mike did a great job, and Jim made good calls late on the last play. Jim would have to tell you, but I think, they were going to play zone or whatever, and then he said, "Forget it, let's blitz them." And I didn't want to say anything, but that's under my breath what I wanted to do because that quarterback's too savvy. If he stands around back there, I just worried. And he made a great call and came after him and pressured him, pushed him out of the pocket. So both guys did a nice job.
To get a touchdown from a walk-on tight end, to get apparently a good second half from a walk-on center from
Minko America.
Yeah, and then Cornelius goes against the Heisman candidate quarterback. You know what I mean? All the circumstances combined, is this as satisfying?
It's funny during the year, people ask, about the season and, are you frustrated and all that? And I enjoy working with, I'm old now. I enjoy working with the young men. I like seeing them improve. And for Corn Dog to get better and better, and then for 87 to make a play. When did he ever think that he would score a touchdown when he was coming out of high school against the 9th-ranked team in the country? And then for Rye to play center against the 9th-ranked team in the country and a defense that's given up 20 points a game, you would have never thought that would happen. And so it's pretty cool for those guys. To be honest with you, for him to be able to snap, now he had some low snaps, right? Like 3 low snaps or something. But for the most part, you were wanting him just to execute snaps and get in the guy's way. And I know that sounds kind of funny, but center's hard to play, especially when you're playing a zero nose guard. And so couldn't be any more proud of what he did.
Like in the third quarter, Dylan fumbles that punt at the 18-yard line, and defense comes on, and it's 3 plays, 1-yard field goal. That defensive sequence, does it go through your mind at that time, this might be one of the biggest series of the game when they get that stop?
No, really, when, Stoner is so reliable in everything he does, and you guys saw it probably on the replay. I saw it live because those are the things that I think about during the game. And I saw him turn to look right when he was going to grab the ball. And I'll joke with him tomorrow. There was 3 guys there, so I don't know where he thinks he was going. He should have just hugged it and he hugged the ball and jump on the ground. But he's trying to make a play. He's competitive. That's what he does. But yes, when that happened, I thought, gosh, dang, we're just every time we start to get close, we're just kind of trying to take ourselves out of the game. Then I said, hey, let's get after him, hold him to a field goal, and they did.
So with what your son did in his high school team last night, combined with this, is this one of your
Pretty good 48 hours.
pretty good weekend for your?
Or really 24 hours. About maxed me out, yeah. Yeah, I couldn't be any more proud of Stillwater boys and their coaching staff. And then you throw this in, and for 24 hours, it's about all a guy can take, But pretty awesome deal. Good times.
Mike, how satisfying as a coach is it to watch kids not lose the buy-in after 2 very disappointing fourth quarters?
No doubt. It's in my position, that's the thing that you worry about, is to keep energy in the organization. And we talk a lot about our culture, and I'm a firm believer that has kept us at playing at a high level. Because when you win and have as much success as we've been fortunate to have in the last however many years, when you don't play as good, the tendency is for everybody to say, hey, let's get this over and try again. And so I'm just proud of them for what they put into it and what they do.
What value does that bowl streak provide now that you guys have extended it? How important is it for you guys to be able to get that 6th win?
I mean, it is. The bowl game's important because I want the young men in the organization to have a reward to be together for another week, be in a nice place, play another game. And we have so many walk-ons in our program that put so much into the organization, and they don't get to play a lot. That's a heck of a deal for them. So personally, for me, it's satisfying so that we can reward all the people. Maybe not the corn dogs and Phillips and those guys, but the young men that pay the price every day, and that's a big deal to them. That's really more important to me than anything because they put so much work in year-round.
In that same vein then, with it being senior day, what are the emotions of this day like for you?
Well, they're all the same for me. I mean, obviously I feel better now than I did this time last week. But I mean, it's just the same for me. I told them to be careful tonight, be careful who you get in a car with, make good decisions. I'd prefer to not get phone calls in the middle of the night, and all the things that you do as a parent, I do as the coach. It's the same thing. And I want everybody back just like you're leaving tonight so we can enjoy tomorrow and get ready to play another game. So I try to keep my message pretty consistent just based on it does this in college football.
Mike, when did you get to the decision that Justice wasn't going to suit up today?
He was sore Wednesday. And maybe you put him out there in a flap jacket and then he gets hit and he's out again. Or you just say, we've got a couple backs that can roll. We go with them and the middle of next week, you'd like to see him out there practicing.
Last question for Coach. Do you, since 7 looks a lot better than 6, do you really coach your guts out in the next few days to make sure you finish it up well, next week at Fort Worth?
We're going to coach the same way. I wish I could tell you that we could do one any harder than the other, but myself, I'm going to be on top of the overall organization, and each one of our assistant coaches need to be working their butt off, and our coordinators need to be organizing it, and the strength condition. It's just the big picture. There's not any more, not any less. We got to come back tomorrow and go to work. It's the only way we know how to do it. Just like I said, it wasn't as fun at this time last week that they had to come back and get ready to go to work, and I think they did that. The young man in the back.
Coach Gundy.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Y'all know Chad Clay?
Yeah.
Okay.
As a representative of the Houston, Texas Bowl, I want to say congratulations on your win. You beat my good friend. You did. Beat him fair and square.
But I'm your good friend, too.
And you are. Both of you are. I'm glad.
Yeah, I might not stay out as late
Congratulations.
but I'm a good friend.
And I'm here representing the bowl game. And that go beat TCU, and then I hope you end up Houston, Texas.
You're wanting to come down there and hang out with us.
Yeah, and not only that, I think we could end up playing. I know what our matchups could be in the SEC. It could be a full house. There'll be 50,000 Cowboys in orange down there.
Well, if there's anybody that would have inside information, it would be you.
I had to come here and let you know I was here.
I saw you come in.
Let me buy.
Better not let fundraising know you're here. Okay. All right. Hey, y'all be safe.
Yes, we got to play.
You guys good?